To the system party, my people that says they're shaking. We want to the teaching party, now one let's see. When they're killing people every day, then the system shaking. That is how I come away.
Straight up.
This is what science. L-I-E-U.
You would like it.
The system party, my people the system shaking. We want to the teaching party, now one let's see. The system party, my people the system shaking. We want to the teaching party, now one let's see. When they're killing people every day, then the system shaking. That is how I come away.
Straight up.
This is what science. L-I-E-U.
You would like it.
The system party, my people the system shaking. We want to the teaching party, now one let's see. The system party, my people the system shaking.
Listen. Hello to everybody. Thanks for joining me tonight. It's been a while since I've been on an individual podcast, especially, during the day when I'm actually occupied with the closing argument. But I figured tonight, will be a great time for us to sit back and just talk a little bit about a few things. And then hopefully we can be able to bring some clarity. So please help me, do me a favor, as I always ask you all. Share the link, get people on sharing different chat rooms for me. And let's have a conversation tonight. We're here to talk, and hopefully we can bring some sort of clarity. Until then, my name is Duke. Let me go ahead and play, some little thing in the back here so we can get ready to have a conversation tonight. So please do me a favor. Share the link. I'm begging y'all. Let's go ahead and get things going.
We want to the teaching party, now one let's see. When they're killing people every day, then the system shaking. That is how I come away.
Straight up.
This is what science. L-I-E-U.
You would like it.
The system party, my people the system shaking. We want to the teaching party, now one let's see. The system party, my people the system shaking. We want to the teaching party, now one let's see. When they're killing people every day, then the system shaking. That is how I come away.
Straight up.
This is what science. L-I-E-U.
You would like it.
The system party, my people the system shaking. We want to the teaching party, now one let's see. The system party, my people the system shaking. We want to the teaching party, now one let's see. When they're killing people every day, then the system shaking. That is how I come away.
Straight up.
This is what science. L-I-E-U.
You would like it.
The system party, my people the system shaking. We want to the teaching party, now one let's see. The system party, my people the system shaking. We want to the teaching party, now one let's see. When they're killing people every day, then the system shaking. That is how I come away.
Straight up.
This is what science. L-I-E-U.
You would like it.
The system party, my people the system shaking. We want to the teaching party, now one let's see. The system party, my people the system shaking. We want to the teaching party, now one let's see. When they're killing people every day, then the system shaking. That is how I come away.
Straight up.
This is what science. L-I-E-U.
You would like it.
The system party, my people the system shaking. We want to the teaching party, now one let's see. The system party, my people the system shaking. We want to the teaching party, now one let's see. When they're killing people every day, then the system shaking.
All right. Listening, thank you. Good evening to everybody. Hope you're doing great tonight. I'm trying my best, to make sure that I'm doing everything necessary to be able to, to hold up. hold on one second. Let me send this here. Yeah. So yeah, I'm gonna try tonight to do everything I can. But there's so much going on, and I decided to do a quick live video. So while you're here, please share the link for me. Share the link, and let's get busy tonight. You know, yeah, perfect, great. So, well. Look where we are now. Let me turn my lights on here so I can get a better view. Yeah, much better, right? Perfect. So, the few things that's happening, I figured out that I needed to, come on live to just talk about, because people's been reaching out. Some people's been asking, about, what's going on with the campaign. Duke, I know you're on the closing argument and stuff, but we don't get much of a conversation about the campaign and everything thereof. So tonight I figured that is the perfect time to have that conversation and just make sure if other people are following to bring some kind of clarity to to what's unfolding, so all of you cannot be in the what's the word to use, that all of you can be aware. So I wouldn't be here for long, probably the next let's say about an hour or so or less. I will be here to talk, and then we can probably call it a night as well, because I know somebody else coming on later on. But so let's go here quickly. So the first thing, the first thing that I have written on here was just talking about the CPP and folks who support GMB and their hypocrisy, right? I wrote that there because I think it's important to have that conversation. My people, I'm sorry, I'm a little tired tonight, but that's okay. I'll be fine. All right. So let's talk about the CPP campaign, and be able to answer some of your questions and some of the things that all of you has been reaching out to me about and trying to get some sort of clarity on. So the first thing is, when the CPP, the collaborating political parties, as you know, the CPP will be on the ballot. That's what's going to be when you go into that particular ballot box. Oh, by the way, today is Gabriel's birthday. Oh my goodness. Did I forget that today was Gabriel's birthday? I'll call him later on. I didn't even see to this Gabriel birthday. Happy birthday, Gabriel. I know you're not watching, but I'll give you a call. Anyway, so everybody's been a little antsy. People, hey, Kim, what's up? Share the link for me. People have just been asking me about the campaign and all the different stuff and what have you. Sometimes, especially it is we're actually proceeding with caution when it comes to giving information, but we try our best to be able to pass on things that are accurate and just put people at ease. But during this time in this particular stage, right, it is a very critical stage, because this is wherein we're implementing things. We are doing all that we need to do to be able to make sure that our strategies are working, and we're putting the necessary resources in areas that are important. So when you see certain things, just go with the flow, because it's intentional, it's calculative, and that's just based upon assessment and a lot of conversations from people who understand what they're doing. So the CPP campaign is fine. For too long in Liberia, we have gotten used to the crowd politics, the rallies, and all of these things, right? And some of the concerns, some of the things that we've heard over time is about, these rallies and people in crowd and all of these things. At the end of the day, it takes away from the real engagement of the people, right? And so what happens is that at times, sometimes it can be really misleading, because people will be able to take people to this place and that place, and you don't really get a true feel of the voters, and especially for those people in the various communities. So the approach now is seeing how best we can have a more engaging process So what do I mean by a more engaging process? That the voters are actually seeing and feeling Mr. Cummings. Remember, some of you who reached out, you're aware that some of you, or even some of the people that, oh, Mr. Cummings needs to interact with the voters. He need to be. That's what we're doing, right? That's what he's doing more of these engagements. The grassroots canvassing, the door to door, market to market, community to community, touching people and making sure that he's actually interacting and actually getting that experience of those different communities across the country and just knowing the challenges that they face, so that when he becomes president, he will have an in-depth understanding of what those challenges are and what kind of policies can be tailored to be able to solve some of those issues as well. So that's what you're seeing from a campaign perspective that the CPP is doing. Don't get carried away by other people and the rallies and all that kind of nonsense. Don't fall for it. What you want to pay attention to is how the work that Mr. Cummings is doing is actually creating the necessary impact that that's drawing people not only onto the CPP but making people to reconsider, if not consider him, in the upcoming election. So that's for that part. Now, they have a strategy around that. They have an idea in terms of how that's going to work, and that's what they're implementing. That doesn't mean that you wouldn't see, areas with rallies and stuff, right? You saw today in District 17, it was the first time that we saw, the endorsement of the ABCC. That was not even an official campaign rally. It was the endorsement of ABCC, a candidate on the CPP ticket, that Mr. Cummings, he's an ANC partisan, by the way, that Mr. Cummings went there to actually raise him in the district and to officially kick off his campaign in District 17. So you saw that today. You saw a little bit of feel for the rally type of conversation, right? And then it's going to switch. It's going to switch to back to the door-to-door community engagement, and then we're moving away gradually from Monserrate now and moving into the various counties. So the next thing you start seeing now, some of those same engagements replicated in different counties, right? And as he goes, those teams will then follow his lead and be able to work along those lines and just make sure that they're doing the part in terms of extending that message. I think I love it. I really like that concept. Start with that. Start with the heavy engagement in the beginning, and then seeing how we can be able to move along when we're moving towards the middle of the campaign time. So that's what you're seeing, from the CPP, from the Mr. Cummings, and you will continue to see a lot of those door-to-door canvassing style type of campaign. You'll see a lot of those engagements. You will see a lot of those interactions. You will see a lot of those conversations. See and hear a lot of those conversations from Mr. Cummings, because that's going to be the focus. The priority area for us is to see how we're actually reaching out to those people that needs to be reached out to, that need to be reached out to, how we're actually pushing a little further along the lines when it comes to the engagement, what we're learning along the way, right? After a week of doing that, what does the assessment look like? Are we really getting across? What is it that we're missing? What are our areas of opportunities? And then repeating, and making sure that we're not leaving anything, unturned. I'm really happy with that, because you and I get to see some other stuff, and I wouldn't say some other stuff because it's not something that needs to be out there per the social media end. But I'm happy that he's getting to do more of those things, because I think it gives a jolt of energy. And if you see everywhere he goes, when he comes in touch with his voters, when they come and actually have that close interaction, you see the expression on the face. You see how excited the people are, how it's like they've been waiting, right, to be able to see him in there. And that's what I mean. Look, Monserrate is going to be a very competitive area. And I do believe that Mr. Cummings is going to do really well in Monserrate. The whole logic here is that how can we be able to actually take our lion's share, if not come in the top, the first in Monserrate, win Monserrate would be the ideal situation. But, worst case scenario, you still can finish top 1, 2, possibly top 3 in Monserrate as well. So it is the whole idea here. How can we take chunk of votes from in Monserrate? How can we win the areas in Monserrate that we need to win, right? How can we look at areas of opportunity in Monserrate to be able to help us to minimize the margins in other areas that we may not be equally strong? But I can tell you that based upon the work that I see, all of the maneuvers that I see over there, politically speaking, Mr. Kami is going to do really well in Monserrato. And in fact, I do believe that the CPP's got a really good chance at winning Monserrato when it comes to election night as well. So that's what you're seeing from the campaign perspective. You will see, I know it is different for a lot of you who are just used to seeing the big rallies. You will see the big rallies. You will see them going towards the end. You will see that, right? And then the end of the campaign launch, you will see that statement kind of rally. But for now, you'll see more of the community engagement because that's what's being recommended. That's what needs to be done. And that's where the campaign will get the level of value that is seeking in terms of voters, in terms of convincing people, in terms of pushing the messages, in terms of getting people to vote and what have you, right? That's where you will see most of those things to work. Now, some of you have already been reaching out to me about complaints, right? For people who say that they're not being utilized and all of the nonsense. Let me warn you. Stop wasting your time being stressed out listening to people who are reaching to you in your inbox for their own objectives. This is campaign season, it's political season in Liberia. Everybody's coming with their own story because they want to get a nickel or dime off you. You are not helping the situation when you're actually listening too much to those people and actually putting resources in them, right? It takes away from that. Because what's happening is that things are being done differently. Some of the people who are complaining, they've been given so many opportunities. I don't even want to go into that. But some of them, you don't even need to waste your time to even worry about them. Trust me. Trust what I say here, right? And privately, we can talk about that. This is not something wherein everybody thinks that it has to be about them or I need this, that, the rest of it, right? It is about how all of us can roll up our sleeves to be able to play our individual parts. You see me, and you see me every time making an effort to be on the closing argument. You know why? Because we need to be on that space. The message needs to go out. And I'm not bragging, but I'm one of the few people in the CPP who's constantly on air and talking about things, issues pertaining to the CPP, right? But we have to do that. Sometimes I'm tired. Like tonight, I'm tired. I'm drained. But I have to actually be on here to be able to talk, provide clarity, and then repeat the same thing because we're helping in our own weak ways and making sure that the messages are going out there. So I'm good with it. Don't be carried away by the noise from few people. Ignore that because everybody's trying to hustle their own way out, right? And they're not telling the truth. The thing here is, as I stated, to go back, we have to reach a point now wherein all of us collectively, we have to realize that, we need to realize that this is a collective effort. And collective effort means that everybody needs to bring themselves together to be able to do the work. So if you feel that certain things are not being touched in certain areas and you live in those areas, step up and do what you need to do. It is that simple. There's nothing complicated. There's nothing complicated about that part. Reach to other areas, do what you need to do, right? It's easy, and just make your own impact, right? It's simple. For instance, if you're in District 17, now that Mr. Cummings went there, ABCC officially launched his campaign. You know that ABCC represents the CPP, and it's a district that's got a large voting population, right? So what you do now is that you start moving, right? Start moving, going to community, talking to people, different areas, helping the ABCC campaign, but also using that as an opportunity to be able to push the message of Mr. Cummings, split into different groups, different areas within the community. If you're at Simport Bridge, go to Simport. Well, right before Simport Bridge, go there. If you're in Baketan, go there, right? You're at Sarah Barkley area, that's area that go there, right? You're at Riverview area, go to Banjo, go there. Brother area, go there, right? All of those places that you have to start tackling, making sure you're doing the work that's required to be able to help the campaign as well. Because look, if we do the jobs in those different communities, if we can get people out there, it's a numbers game. If we, on election day, I tell you, Mr. Cummings can win anywhere across that country. The only thing we have to do is that we have to get our people to vote. The more people we turn out to vote, the more people we get to the polling station, the more CPP people we get out to vote, it works in our favor. That's why the ground game is effective. That's why all of us need to be coordinating things. And that's why people need to just put their own personal, or whatever aside and make themselves, avail themselves to the process there. But overall, I am satisfied with what I'm seeing. I am really, really confident that strategy is effective. I call for more of those engagement after Mr. Cummings leave those districts to have more of the teams go into this area and stomp the area, making sure they're going door to door and actually helping to kind of, just it's like butter, spread it in, right? He's already gone there. People seeing his face. Now the team roll in, right? That particular team that follows him, that takes over after he leaves, we have to do a good job in making sure they're scouting the area and they're reaching to the target of voters. Here, Alexander Cummings. So that's what I feel good about from a campaign perspective. Another key thing is, at this point in time, don't expect this campaign to go to every county. It just doesn't make sense, right? When you're at this point, you're looking for strategic areas, right, that fit within your overall strategy, just to simplify things. And that's where you're exerting a lot of your efforts, a lot of your time, a lot of your resources. So some of these even the district vixens in Monserrato, right? There's some parts that you will spend more time in because you need to either do some work in there, or you know that this is somewhere that you have to win to be able to meet certain numbers, right? Everybody's working their own data as well, right? You will see journalists will go into other areas. One key thing, I'm glad this came out so I don't miss it. Whenever you're watching online, you're watching the polling, and you hear a radio stations conducting this polling, and you hear this, proceed with caution. The first thing you need to ask yourself, okay, which area is this person? What district is it? Is this district going to have more CDC people? There are people who support Joseph Boycott. CDC people who support George Weah. Is it this district here? Is going to support the Joseph Boycott more, right? So you're not getting confused or being misled by certain individuals who have their own thing. I'll tell you this: you go in District 10, you will find a lot of the people who like Mr. Cummings. Some other areas you go there, you'll find people who like Charlene Brumskin, right? You'll find a mix of different people, mixed bag of people in different areas. You go, around the Nuclear Belt, you'll probably see more people who like George Weah, right? So it has to do with that. You go District 17, you'll see more people who like Alexander Cummings as well. So just be cautious about where people, and even if you go in the districts and area that's actually supportive of Cummings, you have to look at the location in that area that they're actually interviewing people, so you can also not be, bothered by some of the mixed reviews that you see coming, right? I just wanted to throw that part out. But I'm really confident in the whole process. I am confident in all of the things that I've seen so far. I do think that yes, we still got to keep working. We still got to keep pounding the pavement. We still got to keep moving. But I'm not concerned, about all of the other stuff, because I know they add themselves up, and we're gonna be just fine when it comes to the process in its entirety. If you're watching me, let me say this: I'm streaming from 3 different pages, so you'll probably be on one page. You'll see few people that don't get carried away. I have a total of about 100 and some more people that's actually watching this podcast from different accounts that we're actually streaming from. So that's just the gist of it. Don't get troubled. Don't get worried about anything. There's nothing to be. Everything is going as planned, and people are doing what they need to do to be able to get the necessary traction there as well. Now, I said I was only going to be in for an hour because I'm really, really tired and I need to rest. Let me also say this. When I go on the closing argument, well, let me just start with this before I even go about the closing argument. A lot of the things that I speak about when it comes to Liberian politics, they come from my own conviction. It comes from my own beliefs. It comes from my values. It comes from where I stand, what I stand for, right? And that's why I speak. On the closing argument, I am there to be able to aid the message of the CPP, but to also call out the wrongs in our society. When I mention the name Joseph Boyka and the Unity Party people, I do that because I honestly believe that Joseph Boyka is not a better option than George Weah. And I have no remorse. I have no regret saying that. I will continue to say that Joseph Boyka is similar to George Weah. There's no difference. Hey, Ms. Wilson, how are you? Joseph Boyka is no different, right, than George Weah. It is the fact. I don't say this thing because I'm trying to be spiteful. I'm saying it because it's the truthfulness in me. So when you come on these shows, and you know what, I'm so used to Liberian people and the hypocrisy. You'll see people under there who've been calling you for months and for years, who probably got certain relationship with you, but because you chose to support Cummings and they're obsessed with the idiocy in supporting boycott, they start making all kinds of foolish comments and saying a lot of things. As I said, I hold no apology to nobody. I don't regret or I don't have any explanation, right, to give anybody. Because some of the work that we put in here, some of the things that we don't do it because of what you think about. I don't do it because of what you think about me. I've been on this journey since the end of 2017. When I made up my mind to support Mr. Cummings and his agenda, I've been consistent. I have been attacked. I've been insulted. A lot of things has been done. I've taken my own resources. I've taken my time. Some of the work that we've done have come at the expense of our own health. Okay? We've done this. When some of you were not even involved with Joseph Boycott campaign, and you said you didn't, some of y'all say y'all didn't care about Liberian politics. We were here fighting for ABC. But at the last minute, because of the personal hate that's in your hearts for this man, and you think that you can direct that at some of us, well, you're wasting your time. Because it's not going to stop me from speaking. It's not going to deter me from fighting. You're not going to, your decision to be tied to somebody who does not have what it takes to move Liberia anywhere from where you think it needs to be, right? It's not going to stop me. Guess what? You didn't pay my way when I went to Liberia to go register to vote and to help mobilize. You didn't do anything for me, or when I sat here and was doing what I needed to do to get young people out there to be able to mobilize. You are not paying for my ticket that I'm taking to go possibly to go vote and actually do some campaign work. You're not doing it for me. Some of us are making the sacrifices. We don't care about your opinion. You continue to support who you need to support. But one thing I'm not going to do is just in the name of opposition to sit supinely and be, and be, this person who will ignore all of the things that we see in that country, right? All of the things that we see in that country, right? And say, oh, because we're in opposition, I'm not going to talk. I'm just going to let it be. I don't operate like that, right? I have certain values that I actually live by, certain values that are important to me. And so those values are way better than some of you in the obsession with certain people. You understand me? So look, what's in us, for Liberia is much more than some of you in your hypocrisy. Because if you are doing this for Liberia, there's no way you will support a Joseph Boycott. Some of you have problem with Mr. Cummings, not because you think that Joseph Boycott is qualified, but because you just hit certain people, you just hit this man, right? You just think that, because of the hate in your heart, the hate in your heart, you refuse to see the goodness in people because you want to be on the other side, just be negative. I don't subscribe to it. Cause whoever you want to call, say whatever you want to say, that's up to you. But I know one thing though, some of us, when we fire back, y'all would not like it. And y'all already know me and how I can get with certain things. So, all of these things needs to stop. It needs to stop. No, I would not support a Joseph Boycott. I'm sorry. And I've said it. I would not going forward because at the end of the day, what we're seeking to fix in Liberia, right, is much more than your obsession with individual tribalism and your bitterness, the bitterness in your heart. Because how can you comprehend the fact that some of you who say that Joshua is everything negative in that country would then come to the conclusion that Joseph Boycott is better? I just can't wrap my head around it. How can you say you need change in the country and you see Alexander Cummings, you say you're fed up with Weah, but then you go to a Boycott who represents all of the issues in that country, and you think it is okay. You think it is acceptable behavior. And then when other people who don't subscribe to what your beliefs are, you come and start being reckless and stupid to them and making all of these nonsense comments because of your personal hate. Live with the hate in your heart. The hate in your heart don't define me. It doesn't define me. It doesn't put food on my table. It doesn't pay my tuition. It doesn't do anything for me. I could care less about what you think. The hate in your heart will not determine how we fight to move this country forward. Absolutely not. Because some of you don't know what you want. And I don't want to hear none of you talking about the issues in Liberia because all of you are part of the problem. Today, if you support Joseph Boyka, you are part of the issues in Liberia. If you think that Joseph Boyka is a replacement to George Weah, you are part of the damn problems in our country. I'm sorry. Because there is no way possible. We have experimented with these individuals. All of us have seen the output of these individuals. Some of the challenges that we face that dragging that country in the mud is because of some of these individuals. This very same people who are behind that man, they have been the architects of the destructive Liberia. And you sit there and you still support these individuals over at Alexander Cummings? Are you kidding me? If this is about changing Liberia, is this about the truth? If this is about the reform, if this is about corruption, you're crying all day about what the legislative branch is doing. If you really think this is about making Liberia the country that it needs to be, there's no way or Joseph Boyka should be in a conversation with nobody. And some of you know it very well. But the only reason why you support this man is because of the malice in your hearts, directed at other people. You come, you pretend to some of us. You come and act like we're good. You act like we're cool. You come and say that, oh, they are doing the old man, they come here, good man, but this. But you go in the public, you subscribe to some of the same idiots that you've criticized in people. You will not stop us from fighting for this man. You will not stop. I keep saying it. When I went like brother register to vote, I was sick as a dog. But I got in that plane and I went. I went there and started the very first week and started malaria case when I easy. I went from areas to areas just working and doing what I had to do because I had no commitment. And then I started feeling really better and doing what I had to do. We support Cummings not because, or Mr. Cummings, not because we think that it's our time to enjoy. I don't support Mr. Cummings because I think it is my time to do this. You've heard my story. You've heard some of the problems I've even had with some of the people in the party, and I've stood up to that. This is much bigger than Mr. Cummings. It's about a country in its entirety that really needs to drift away from all of the nonsense that some of you are critical of. You're talking about your people unemployed in that country and you're supporting the Joseph Boyka? You're talking about all the corruption in the country and you're supporting the Joseph Boyka? How are you any different than the people who support George Weah? How are you any different than the people who sit there and see all of the wrongs in that country and don't say a damn thing? There's no way you can be interested in Liberia and all of the things that's happening in that country, but then sit down and say that you're supporting the Joseph Boyka. There's no way you can tell me that you're frustrated with all of the things that George Weah is doing. But then tell me that you're supportive for Joseph Boyka is not better than George Weah. I'm sorry. These are the hardcore facts. And we can go line items by line items to stick the facts. The only reason why some of you doing this because of your personal interest, of the hate in your heart, the pretense, the nasty attitude. You come here, you pretend in front of people, you act like you're so good, you got relationship with people, you're comfortable with them. Then you sit down, you go on social media, you partake in the destruction of your country, all in the name of this one old man. And you think it's okay. Mr. Cummings will win. Mr. Cummings will win. Look, let me tell you, forget all the nonsense you see out there. Let them go and post that nonsense. Or the people convinced, the people that let them fool themselves. Let the people fool themselves. All right? Let the people fool themselves. We know the work that Cummings is doing. We know the relationship he has built. We know exactly what the strategies are and what needs to be done. I'm telling you, if we continue to do the work as we are doing, we continue to focus on what we need to do, I can assure you that Mr. Cummings will win the election. All I say on social media these days is that you'll keep us in the prayers. You'll continue to stand with us. It is not easy. It gets frustrating, it gets tiring, it gets really exhausting. Like right now, you hear my voice. I am tired as a dog. But I will keep pushing. We will keep pushing. Because at the end of the day, this is bigger than us. And what fuels that side in me is when I see people on social media being disrespectful to a man that's done nothing wrong. When I see the hypocrisy in many of you, some of you are liars. Some of you don't want what's right for that country. You're caught up with your own relationships with people. That's what it's about. And you put a spin and you put all the nonsense that you want to put on it to appease you, to make you feel comfortable about your own ignorant decision. But you're not going to plunge that country. You see what the United States is doing to Sierra Leone? The United States taking stance, especially in West Africa with all the things that's happening. You go sit down and support a Joseph Boyka who puts a Prince Johnson on ticket. A man who's desperate. A man who cannot even fix anything. You really think that Joseph Boyka is going to solve Liberia's issue? You really think so? You really think that Joseph Boyka is going to solve Liberia's issues? No, you stop that nonsense. It's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. It's not going to happen because we are just assuming. Look at the performance of this man in government. Look at the challenges that we need to face. Look at some of the people who are behind Joseph Boyka. Look at the man that you're selling to the Liberian people as a solution. And you think there's something that should put you to bed at night comfortably? There's no way. There's no way you can be comfortable with the decision that you've made to support this man. This man is in no way a better option than George Weah. And some of you know it. But the reason why you go on the other side is because it fuels that rage that's in you towards people who've done nothing to you but to support a good man. That's where the anger is from. Then some of y'all sit on the show where y'all talking, you want to talk nonsense over there. I ain't got time for none of y'all. Y'all say anything y'all want to say. I don't care. You will just motivate me to be as nasty as I need to be. You can't talk more than me. You can't say anything more than me. I know how to sound a chief relative. I know how to be able to push the message, and I'll use all facts. And the fact here is Joseph Boyka is not better than George Weah. I don't care how you try to spin this. I don't care how you try to put lipstick on a pig instead of pig. Because the existing issues in that country, there's a root cause of those issues. The lack of change and progress in Liberia, that's a reason why. You can't take issues or characters who were produced in the dysfunctional system as solutions to move the country forward. You're wasting the Liberian people time. Because at the end of the day, you make that mistake, you wake up 1 year from now, 6 months from now, 3 months from now, and complain about the same issue. Then stupid people like y'all will sit down and say, oh, that's why we can't trust politicians, we'll put our trust in and disappoint us. No, because you continue to make the wrong choice. Don't blame politicians, blame you. You see all that we struggle with George Weah. Then you go jump behind an old man who carries the similar traits. Then today, when it backfire, you come and you want to blame other people. No, we will blame some of you because all of you are part of the problem in that country. All of you are part of the problem. And you're not doing it because you want to see the country in a better position. You're doing it because you're hungry. So my people will continue to work. I will start doing this here. I've got, let's see here. God first. I will push that. We'll continue. I'll do this podcast. And then finally, I wouldn't be able to get on to do the podcast because due to cause, we have to head to Liberia to be able to do the people's work. But I just want to say this, though. I just want to say this. If you support Mr. Cummings and you're not going to be in Liberia, continue to pray. Pray for the people who stand up. Look, I say this, we're up against so many things. My people, even internally, externally, some of the people you work with, we're up against so many things. The change that we're trying to push in Liberia is not easy. There are people who've been tied to that political atmosphere for a long time that are used to all of these things. There are evil people amongst us. Those people have their own intentions. Keep Mr. Cummings in your prayer. Keep the campaign team in your prayers. Keep us in your prayers. Continue to have faith. All of you who are prayerful, this is the time. You're not going to Liberia. Organize prayer meetings and gatherings on Zoom. Call people together. Get in your circle. I'm telling you guys, I'm saying this because for me, I like to connect with my people and actually talk to them. Have these conversations. The fight to redeem Liberia is so big, it's so deep. There's so many things, there's so many angry people. Angry people, all because we're trying to do the right thing. And these people don't care, they will do anything. Just continue to hold us in your prayer and continue to stand with us. Because in the end, the good people will win. We are the good people. We are the ones who see value in the man that can transform that country like never before. Those who go against that are evil. Yes, they are. And the reason why, because they see all of the existing issues and they still want to encourage people to make the wrong decisions. So that's what a little quick update I had to bring. I'm sorry, I was a little tired tonight. I gotta get some rest, which I will do. I will get some rest. But I want to continuously tell you all that a lot of things that we're doing on the back end, a lot of things that's unfolding, a lot of work we're doing. It's not just as simple as just getting on Facebook talking. Some of us will commit our whole day. So many things I wouldn't say. But we'll continue to fight, we'll continue to believe, we'll continue to work. Because in the end, we believe that Liberia deserves better. And Mr. Cummings can deliver on all of those promises that he's made. Because he comes with the skill set, and he comes with the level of judgment and the leadership needed to be able to drive the kind of results that we need to see. Don't ever think for a second that these people who are, thank you so much, that these people who are being, are distracting us and all these people who are talking nonsense are winning. Nobody's winning. We know what we're capable of and what we're going to do. And we're going to do just that. I say that I'm blessed to have a lot of you who reached out to me and just check on me and just continue to encourage me. I see Miss Wilson that I just gave you. Thank you so much for just being, a blessing, just being so supportive, And I see, Kimani here, all of you. That's all we need. Sometimes a simple thank you. Sometimes just that motivation to go through. It's not easy, my people, but we will do that because we have to do all we can. Mr. Cummings is a good man, and we're fighting to change hearts and minds. And as we go forth, let's continue to work together. Call your family members, call your friends, people you're in high school with, university, and talk to them. Have those conversations. You're here, call radio stations. Trust me, the life in Liberia, get the number, call, encourage your people. It's one vote at a time. I'm telling you, my people, it is one vote at a time. Reach out, reach out, reach out. Have a game plan. You're not going Liberia in the diaspora. Have a game plan for election day. Identify people in communities that you're aware of and make sure that they're going to vote. Keep yourself active. Make yourself available to ANC, a global call Liberia, and reach out to them and get numbers to call people. They're working in the diaspora here. Reach out to these people. We have to fight. We're up against a system of individuals who do not want to see change in Liberia. Those people will do anything, but they're not stronger than us because you know what? If we stand together and we do what we need to do, we will continue to thrive. If you think I'm lying, let me just close out with this story. Look at Mr. Cummings. Look at all the challenges he has faced in that country. A decent man who has worked for so much, sitting in a minefield with individuals who have done everything to tarnish his reputation. You all remember the court case and how some of you were very jittery about what was unfolding. You saw how they tried to ridicule him to put him on personal bench, all of the lies and the deception they brought forth. All because this man is challenging the system that they're all corrupt. And now you see, those same people formulated their own groups and they're extending into other networks and stuff to resist change. Some of the people who should know right are being blinded by the hypocrisy. But you see Alexander Cummings every day. If you're not inspired when you see the live video of that man in different towns and villages, in those slum communities, walking in those green mold infested areas, sweating, wiping the sweat, walking 5 hours today, 5 hours that man was on his feet. If you're not inspired, if you're not motivated, if you're not encouraged, I kindly ask you to go back to the live video today in Jalatan and just watch it. Just look at his demeanor. Just look at how he's working. Look at how he's gauging. Look at how committed he is. Look at how determined he is. And let that be your inspiration, your motivation. This thing will not be easy. There will be a lot of people who will say what they want to say, but nobody's got the final say because in the end, it's going to come to the hard work and the dedication. I can assure some of you, in as much as I've some of us been vocal on social media, been talking, we will work as hard as we can before election day and on election day to make sure we're stopping every polling station, doing all that we can, checking in to our people to make sure they're okay, reaching out and getting people to go and vote. We will try our best. We'll do all we can. The fighting spirit of Alexander Cummings and all that he stands for, we will continue to make sure that we're doing our part, we're playing our part to help bring that kind of results. I'm confident. I am very confident from what I'm seeing that we can pull this off. Don't listen to the noisemakers. Don't listen to all of those people who are talking. Trust me, there will be surprises in the upcoming election. I'm telling you that we have this. We just need to continue to work. We just need to continue to push harder. We just need to continue to believe in ourselves and just something. I will continue to do my best to work along with my young people, to work along with different things, to be on a closing argument, every other platform that I need to be on, every other radio station will continue to do that. We'll continue to do this podcast and have a conversation. We will do all that we can to bring some kind of jolt of and continued energy into this process to change hearts and minds, to talk on behalf of our people. All we ask for is your prayers and your continued support and all of the encouragement that we need, because I'm telling you, it is not easy. It is so tough. It is so difficult dealing with our people and just facing all of the challenges. But we're strong enough to get through this. So on that note, I want to say thank you, my people. I didn't come here to talk for long. I'm actually getting hoarse, as you all can tell. I think I'm coming down with the flu a little bit. I'm not sure. But I'm grateful. And I'm really, really thankful for all of you. We will win. We'll be there, Mr. Cummings. Mr. Cummings is going to be out there again tomorrow. Mr. Cummings will be out there tomorrow. Let me see here. I'm trying to see where he's going to be this time around. There'll be a district engagement tomorrow. Let's see. All right, so I'm sorry. Tomorrow there will be the funeral that will be held for the late chairman Nathan tomorrow. So that's what it will be on there. That will be the focus of tomorrow, and then they will continue afterwards. So on that note, I say thank you, my people. I appreciate all of you. I just want to say thank you. I appreciate Esther. Thank you so much. I'm just thankful for all of you, and we'll continue to do what we need to do to be able to change things. Right today, I sat down. Let me tell you this, and I just sat down because God first and everything. With my trip getting so close to go to Liberia now, I sat down a second, right, and I was just thinking. I'm like, it was just the other day, when we started pushing, and election was so far away, but years it will close. But I was just proud of what I've been able to actually accomplish throughout this process. And I just remember telling myself today, wow, pretty soon, realities will be here, will be in the midst of this thing and everything. But I was reminded at how one man was able to inspire me to leave, somewhere that, I have been for a long time to go. 21 years I've never been to Liberia. And I went there because of one man and the things that he has done to inspire somebody like me. And I registered and I was able to do some campaign work and all of that. But before that, I did a lot of different stuff. And then to be able to have the same level of courage to find myself going again, right? To be able to work harder and to, cast my votes for something that I believe in. I think we have reawakened, a new Liberia that's now going to give motivation to a lot of people like myself who will no longer run away from the issues of Liberia, will see this as a revolution, right? And give all of us, right? The extra motivation that's needed to fight for Liberia and to be able to see change in our lifetime. And I know it is possible because I know how change can occur when people were selfless, people were motivated, can continue to push themselves harder, right, to attain, right, the utmost goal. So I'm forever grateful and I'm forever thankful for all of you. Let's continue to pray for one another. Let's continue to pray for each other. I'm going to be praying tonight, starting tonight. I like watching this thing called Streams of Joy on there. So I will be on that tonight. We'll continue to surround ourselves. Believe it or not, I'm a prayerful person. Trust me. And we'll continue to pray tonight. We'll continue to pray and just continue to invoke the presence of God, on Mr. Cummings, on this campaign, on all of us, and just ask for God to continue to give us the motivation to continue to fight, because we're wrestling against things that are beyond our own naked eyes. But we know that with his intervention, all of the things that he's done, we will continue to actually, thrive. So thank you all. I appreciate you. My inbox is always open. You have any question, reach out to me. Any clarity, any confusion, anything that makes you afraid during the day, anything, reach out to me. I don't care. My leg can be hit and say, I will answer it and I will talk to you all about what's going on, because I think that's our responsibility. That's what we need to do. Whatever information we can put out there, we'll do that to you there. I know Kima has some questions the other day she reached out to as well. So I'm very appreciative. On that note, you have a good night, okay? That's what I wanted to talk a little bit about, a few things. Let's continue to work together. Let's continue to keep our campaign of Mr. Comics in a prayer. So on that note, my people, y'all, thank you so much. And I hope everybody else, all of us, all of you have a wonderful, wonderful evening. Talk to y'all later on.
I'll be a man,